Let's do AM News now. And management of Electrochem Ghana Limited, a salt mining firm operating in the Ada Songor Lagoon, has denied any involvement in the death of a 47-year-old Kolete woman. On Monday, November 6, 2023, resident of Toflokbo and some staff of Electrochem Ghana Limited allegedly clashed over salt mining concessions in the Songor mining site in the Adan West district of the Greater Accra region, leading to the death of one person. While residents blamed the death on some personnel of the company, management of Electrochem Ghana Limited maintains it had no hand in the death. Carlos Caloni has more in the following report.
On Monday, November 6, 2023, some resident of Tufulukbo, a salt mining community in the Adan West district of the Greater Accra region, clashed with some staff of Electrochem Ghana Limited over mining concession, leading to the death of a 47-year-old Kolete Wemeno. Residents blame his death on the police and thugs they believed were hired by the Electrochem Company Limited.
When I'm laying the trapoli, when they come to take the trapoli away. When we said no.
Who are those who came for the tarpaulin?
Those the landguards and the police.
And how do you ascertain these people are coming from Electrochem?
And the Electrochem people, they didn't wear uniform. So the police people wear uniform. So we identified them that they are police people. But they guide the Electrochem people.
But reacting to these claims, Chief Operating Officer of Electrochem Ghana Limited, Benatete, debunked that assertion.
So on the 6th of November, our team, which was made up of some engineers, drivers and operators, internal security, and then police, went to the areas around Toflokbo as part of our normal operations to go and clear the ground and also proceed with the construction of brine reservoirs. The purpose for the going is that Toflokbo is one community where we have already constructed community ponds for the community. We do not have commercial ponds even yet. As a company, our first priority is that wherever we go that we think we can do salt, we first create community ponds for the communities before later on we think of doing commercial ponds even for ourselves. So as we speak right now, Toflokbo has about 10 community ponds. Now, the lagoon, we have restored it. We've been able to put in brine. But how do you get a brine to move from the lagoon into the community ponds at Toflokbo? You need to construct what we call reservoirs. Now, we had given prior notice to the community that we'll be coming in there to create reservoirs so that we can supply your own community ponds, which we've created free of charge with brine. And so the tarpaulin materials and the people who are there, if they can clear the way so that we can go ahead to work with excavators and dozers to create reservoirs for them. 2 weeks down the line, we went there and we saw that the materials were still on the ground. So with our internal security and also the police, we went in there to clear the ground, fold the tarpaulin material so that we can go ahead to construct these reservoirs for the benefits of that same community. Unfortunately, though, we were met with violence and attack and retaliation or attack from the community. They began to throw stones and various objects at our people, the security and also the police. So when it became a bit agitated, we had to pull back our team from the field, and we brought them to the site. So when they came to the site, that was when we saw that there was smoking in the area that we left. We flew the drone and saw that 4 of our machines, 2 excavators, 1 dozer, 1 compactor, were burning. And you ask yourself, I mean, what crime have we committed? And our whole crime is that construction that we are seeking to do to supply brine to the same community to do salt. That is a crime that we've committed. However, we must be clear that the security that went there, the police that went there, in our name, nobody fired any gunshot, not even a warning shot.
In a twist of events, some Electrochem staff, on the other hand, accused the residents of rather assaulting them and making threats on their lives.
And after the incident, there was a rumors and a call coming from our town, a threat that they will kill us, we those working at Electrochem, and we are from the neighboring community around the Songor Lagoon. We are the next target to be killed. And this caused fear and panic in us. And up to date, we didn't go home.
While the residents want Electrochem Ghana Limited to limit its operations to the original Songor concession, the COO of Electrochem Ghana Limited, Bernard Tete, said that is not feasible.
It's impossible to forgo Lagoon and then say that you operate in where Old Songor used to operate, in that 1,000-acre concession, because to produce proper salt, you need brine from the sea to travel a certain distance. And that's the only way in which you get to drop the impurities, the magnesium salt, sulfate salts that you do not need. They drop along the way so that by the time it gets to where they are crystallizing, you have pure sodium chloride. So to say that we should leave the lagoon and then stick to only where salt crystallizes, I find it a bit difficult. I struggle to swallow that.
The Tema Regional Police Command is, however, investigating the death of the 47-year-old Kolete Wemeno, as the family of the deceased demands justice within 14 days. Carlos Caloni.
Now, 3 days after two brothers were allegedly shot and killed by a Forestry Commission task force at a community mining site in Infante, the divisional office of the commission in the area remains shut. The youth of Pokokrom in the Hafuano Southeast District and the family of the deceased are asking for justice. Emmanuel Bright Kweku, who visited the area, reports residents of Infante fear the task force would return.
A saddened mother, a sister left in excruciating pain. Wails continue to emanate from the home of Abdul Samed Razak, 35, and Hashmil Usman, 25, after the two were allegedly shot dead by security task force of the Forestry Commission at a mining site. The family is in pain. You've killed a human like animal. The two were protecting in the Hafuano North municipality when a security task force besieged them in a swoop. So we understand this is the very spot one of the deceased was laid when he was shot by the security task force right here at Infante. As you can see behind me, that's some equipment that were bent by the security task force when they came here. I haven't really cited much of operations happening, but the few people we found around tell us today there haven't been any working by the miners. The forestry officer drew a line on the ground that we shouldn't cross, but one of the deceased did not heed and went ahead to cross it. That's when they started shooting him. So they surrounded him and hit his neck with the buttstock of their gun. The other was shot from behind through his skull. Some miners at the site sustained various injuries, with 4 critically wounded. In 2021, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources commissioned a community mining scheme to be operated by the Enso group of companies. So this is the junction leading to the two mining sites. On my left is a route to the Enso group of companies mining site under the Infante community mining scheme. And this is also another route leading to where the incident happened. The miners, however, claim both sites are under the community mining scheme. But there are fears of a possible return of the task force to comb the community.
Because gunshots, straight from site or more incident happen or site or from site straight to
We are scared because they might come back. Back at Poku Krum, there is simmering tension as families of the deceased and the youth threaten to avenge the killing.
Justice. 4 days time.
After burying them, we demand justice within 4 days. If it doesn't happen soon, we will retaliate. He left behind 5 children. Who is going to take care of them? If the laws are working, it must work for us too. Else, Forestry Commission officers will not operate in this constituency.
Tension is mounting at the Tamale Central Market between the traders and the Tamale Municipal Assembly over the sale of a parcel of land in the market. JoyNews understands the land has been sold to a private developer, but the women say they have occupied that space for decades and will not vacate. The traders locked up the main gate leading to the market to protest the sale of the land.
Activities at the Tamale main market grounded to a halt this morning as the women left their trading and massed up at the Tamale Circuit Court. The traders had been allegedly summoned by the court to appear before it. They had been accused of pulling down construction works on a piece of land under contention between the assembly and the traders. Speaking to JoyNews, chairman of the Market Women Association, Alhassan Ziblim, said as at 11 o'clock, their case had not been called yet. He said over 100 women would be affected.
We were there in the market when Assembly came. They were building a structure where we can't get access to pass in again. Even a tender can't go in when there is fire outbreak. So it's better than you people must go there and find out to see how things it is. And then Assembly issue that they give us a court warrant that we should come here. That's why we are here.
How many women are we talking about who have been affected?
Plenty. It's almost more than 100 plus. And they are going to give it to 2 people to build. 2 and then more than 100 plus. Who is better?
Some of the women who spoke to JoyNews at the court premise said they had occupied the land several decades and would not find a place to relocate, whilst others said they had taken loans and would not be able to pay if they are evicted.
My brother was sitting there before getting married, and now I'm getting to 40 years today, and you are just sacking my mother, and I just like that. What kind of life is this? It's very painful. We are more than 100 people over there, and one particular person is going to take all over the place. Everybody is standing there watching us. Even the government too is watching us.
Now we know that when we are sacking somebody, you give us sitting place to sit. They didn't give us sitting place to sit. So we are begging. We don't have anybody. When we are sitting there, we collected loans. It's not our money. We don't have single one city to do the business. They are giving us credit, and we collected loan. Now, when you say we should get up there, where are we going to sit?
My problem is when there is a fire outbreak, it will be very difficult for firefighters to get their way in. And also, we are those in the markets. We have to carry our goods inside. Now we use yellow and motokia. There's no space. Even when we are working, we are human beings. We are very choked. And we are there with our mothers, and they are going to, vacate a lot of people, giving it to 2 people.
At the main market, the women waited outside, locking up the main gates into the market in solidarity with their colleagues.
From the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly now, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has underscored the importance of collective responsibility by the various stakeholders in the agri-food chain in order to build resilient food systems in the country. Deputy Minister Yao Frimpong Ado says Ghana's food system currently does not adequately prioritize safety, fairness, sustainability, and health, and thus requires significant transformation. He was addressing participants at the 6th annual conference of the Ghana Association of Agricultural Economists. There's more in this report.
Mr. Adu noted that building resilient food systems require sustainable action throughout the agricultural value chain. He indicated that ensuring the health and well-being of all Ghanaians depended on access to safe, nourishing and affordable diet to address poverty and malnutrition.
We recognize that ensuring the population's health and well-being depends on access to safe, that addressing issues such as hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and illness is closely tied to this access. However, it is evident that current food systems do not adequately prioritize safety, fairness, sustainability, and health, thus requiring a significant transformation. A sustainable food system delivers food security and nutrition for all in such a way that the economic, social, and environmental basis to generate food security and nutrition for future generations are not compromised. Developing resilient and sustainable food systems is crucial for building sustainable economies and livelihoods everywhere.
President of the Ghana Association of Agricultural Economists, Professor Daniel Bruce Sapon, noted how imperative it has become to explore more innovative pathways towards sustainable food systems for job creation.
The youth participation is expanding rapidly, and Africa is grappling with the task of creating sustainable jobs for her young people. Sustainable agricultural innovation and entrepreneurship offer a way to enhance livelihoods and improve living conditions, especially in rural areas where agriculture plays a crucial role. Our esteemed panelists are well positioned to delve into these topics and share their insights, lessons learned, and future perspectives.
Provost of the College of Health and Allied Sciences at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Martin Ekor, called for close collaboration between the various stakeholders in the agri-food chain.
Issue of food security also border on national security. A hungry man, they say, is an angry man. And so if we do not do everything possible to attain these sustainable food systems, it definitely will compromise, In fact, we have a role to play. Government also has a role to play. And there's one thing that the president of the association mentioned. He talked about the issue of galamsey and the destruction of farmlands. And this is where we are seriously relying on the government to ensure that this problem is tackled headlong and the problem is solved. I do not think it is beyond the capability of the government of the day.
The 6th annual conference of the Ghana Association of Agricultural Economists rallies support from various stakeholders for sustainable agriculture to safeguard national food security.
Now, Agreement Officer at USAID, Paul Napari, has urged chiefs and parents to demand accountability from managers of educational institutions in their localities. He says when that is done, it will give a better outcome for education in their respective areas, as teachers will no longer take decisions that will be affront to the education of their children. Mr. Napari made a statement at the regional launch of the USAID and Ghana Strengthening Accountability in Education System, SAGES project in WA. Rafik Salam reports from WA.
Strengthening accountability in Ghana Education Service, SAGES activity has been carefully designed to support the government of Ghana, particularly the Ministry of Education and its agencies, in delivering the education accountability framework across the country. The initiative is being implemented in 17 districts in 4 regions in the Northern Gulf of the country. Executive Secretary of Community Development Alliance, Salaf Isufu Kanton, whose outfit are the local implementers of the project, says the ball rolling for the Upper West Region's launch of the project.
If you read the accountability framework document, it essentially looks at what is it that the Minister of Education is supposed to do? What is it that the Director General of Ghana Education Service is supposed to do? And how should he be helped to do it? What are the regional directors of education supposed to do? How should they do it? What are the district directors of education supposed to do? How can we get them to do it? What are the school support improvement officers supposed to do? And how can we support them to do it? And when we employ teachers and send them to school, what are they supposed to do? And how can we get them to do it? So SAGES is going to ensure that we provide direct support, working with all these 17 districts within the USAID zone of influence to be able to improve or institutionalize accountability so that we can begin to see improved learning outcomes for our children.
Agreement Officer Representative for USAID, Paul Napari, disclosed that the SAGES activity is a 5-year project funded by USAID at an amount of $60 million.
Community members, you must demand accountability. Don't just sit down. It is because of you the teachers are in that community teaching. If you were not there, the district director didn't have a job, the head teacher didn't have a job, the teacher didn't have a job. So parents, led by our chiefs, rise up, let us rise up. Thank God, I've had a good job that some of you are already doing. Comprehensively, let us rise up and demand accountability.
Director, Tertiary Education at the Ministry of Education, Nana Bafoiwa, opined that the SAGES activity signifies the country's resolve to create an education system that holds managers of education accountable.
We are not only launching the SAGES activity, we are also embarking on a journey of transformation. A journey that holds the promise of enhancing the quality of education, expanding access to learning opportunities, and most importantly, ensuring accountability in our education system.
Now, Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Lydia Aziato, has asserted that the exodus of health professionals would impede effort towards attaining Sustainable Development Goal 3, that's universal health coverage. She wants stakeholders to design modules to lessen the migration of health professionals. She was speaking at the opening ceremony of the 4th Annual Nursing and Midwifery Leaders and Managers Conference and the 3rd Excellence Awards in the Volta Regional Capital of Hull.
The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association reported that about 4,000 nurses migrated from Ghana in search of well-paid jobs in 2022. This was fueled by Western countries recruiting nurses, leading to Ghana losing a significant number of workers. Addressing the 4th Annual Nursing and Midwifery Leaders and Managers Conference in Hull, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Lydia Aziato, lamented the development.
I'm also attracted to universal health coverage. Before we started, I came earlier, so I was engaging some of you, and I asked some of you whether you have nurse specialists in your facilities. The answer was no. Somebody said we had one who went to school, but the person has migrated. So I was asking myself, how would the institution now have the confidence to sponsor or allow another person to go if the first person did not come back? The important people are here for me. And the question I want you to discuss at the end will be recommendations not to stop migration, but to moderate it such that we can have experienced, qualified, dedicated nurses and midwives caring for me when I become sick one day, because I don't know where I will need the service, okay?
The country representative for the United Nations Fund for Population Activities, Dr. Wilfred Okan, admonished leaders in the health sector to adopt best practices towards achieving transformational change.
The fourth and last path, I see nurses and midwives freely associate under professional association, or are registered as members with active association branches. There's one united association with one unequivocal voice of representation. The leadership and members are united to advance the interests of the association, including professional development of the members, advancing the welfare of members and better services for the target population.
The Chief Director of the Ministry of Health, Alhaji Hafiz Adam, called for unity in the country's health workforce.
As a ministry, it will not augur well with us if we continue to see a divided 60% cadre of the health workforce. It will affect quality care, no doubt about that. Our ministry, through the Office of the Nursing and Midwifery, is therefore mandated to provide oversight responsibility, coordination of policy planning, monitoring, and evaluation of all health sectors.
The conference would provide a platform for the discussion of several policies and programs aimed at enhancing healthcare delivery in the country. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News. Ho.
And on that note, we wrap up today's edition of the AM News. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Up next is a news review here on the show. Please stay.